Kevin. What are you reading?
You guys crack me up sometimes, you really do. Got an email. Dear Kermit. Really? Come on. I see you have so many different pairs of gloves. Can you tell us a little about gloves? Okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. Dear Miss Piggy. Back at you. Yeah, I got lots of different kinds of gloves. I've found some work best for one thing rather than another. And right off the bat, let me say I'm not endorsing any of these. I'm showing you the labels so you can go buy your own if you want. I got to pay for them just like you do. I don't get any of these for free, okay? These are just what I like to use. MIG welding. Lots of sparks, lots of heat. ProStar from Praxair. I've found these fit my hands the best. They actually give me a little bit of tactile feel, where I can pick up something if I drop it. Got to struggle with it a little. They're not as good as Tig Gloves for like picking up a rod off the floor, but I've found these are the best for me. I've set these on fire a couple of times because I've been welding and I've been doing something and just not paying attention to where I just welded, and I'll put my hand on a piece of metal that I just finished welding. Smoke, scorched leather, that nice burnt cow smell, but no damage to the hand. Great insulation in these. Highly recommend them for MIG welding, oxyacetylene work. Working around the forge, I'll normally wear one of these just for reaching into the fire to pull something out. Working with the hammer with the other hand. Great gloves for MIG welding. Now, for all you gals out there, for all you guys who are smaller, nothing wrong with that. Tillman makes a whole line of smaller size for smaller hands. These are the wife's gloves. Work just fine, fit her good. Not quite as heavily insulated as the ProStars, so you got to be a little more careful when you're around the heat a little bit. But this is what she wears for when she's MIG welding or working with the oxygen-acetylene. Now for TIG welding, we actually have several different options. The Tillman again, you get them at your welding supply store. Tillman is really heavy in the welding industry. These are the 1470s XLs to fit the big palm again. Goat skin, great feel, great tactile feel. Boy, you can pick a rod up off the floor with these, no problem at all. I have found that they don't work very well as a general work glove. They are pretty thin, they're pretty easy to tear. But as far as TIG welding, these are actually the ones I prefer. Warning, they are mesh in the back. So you can TIG weld all day with them. If you're going to go over to the grinder, if you're going to pick up the handheld grinder, you might want to change to a different pair of gloves because the sparks just go right through. Oh boy.
Why does the goat skin work better for the TIG? Don't you need the heat protection there too?
Well, you do need some heat protection with the TIG. Great question. You need some heat protection. I've found the goat skin works just fine as opposed to like cowhide. Cowhide is a lot thicker. You lose that tactile feel. You can't feel what you're doing with the cowhide gloves on. A little harder to pick up something off the table, off the floor with cowhide. Goat skin fits a lot tighter, and you can just work better with them. Would never ever use these MIG welding because of the sparks. Never ever use them oxygen-acetylene because of the heat, because of the flame, because of the sparks. Would go to cowhide for something like that. Another good Tillman glove is the 1490. And the big difference between the 1490s and the 1470s, you can see on the 1470, just this little tiny bit of cowhide in the palm, nothing on the fingers, nothing but mesh on top. With the 1490, you can see a much bigger piece of cowhide, and on the fingertips they're reinforced with cowhide. A little less tactile feel, a little harder to pick things up with, a little bit more protection, from heat, sharp, sharp edges or something like that. You'll save your palm a little better here, where the other one's a little bit thinner. They'll cut quicker. Same mesh in the background. Same good fit. I like the fit out of either one of the gloves. The 1490s, they're just a little more expensive. They're about $2-3 more expensive than the other ones.
Are they both TIGs though? TIG only?
Yeah, they're both considered TIG gloves or light, bench work. For anything where you're not around a lot of heat, you're not around a lot of sparks. Yeah, you can use either one of these. Like I said, it's mostly a cost issue between the 1490s and the 1470s. So, whichever ones work best for you. The gloves that I really, really like, when I can get a hold of them, they used to carry them in the cheapo. Cheapo quit carrying them. I actually ordered these off of Amazon. I got like a dozen pair at once to save on the shipping and what have you. These are by Stanley, and they're called Leather for Weather. Don't know why, but that's it. Goat skin again. I found that the goat skin doesn't get hard, doesn't crack like cowhide will because of the sweat, or if you get them wet. The goat skin stays supple, it'll still work. I like the cuff. I like the cuff on these better than the Velcro fastener where you got a tight cuff around your wrist. These are loose. If I'm wearing like long sleeves or something, I can tuck the sleeves up inside. Sparks will roll off, rather than with these, if I'm wearing them with long sleeves, sparks roll off the back of the glove and go down inside the sleeve. They'll protect your arm a little better. Love these gloves. Leather for weather. Find them online. Find them at your big box stores, and they're actually cheaper than any of the Tillman gloves.
So what if you could only have one pair of gloves, Kevin? Which pair would you have?
You can't. You've got to have at least 2 pair of gloves. If I had only 2 pair, I'd have the Stanley Leather for Weather gloves, and I'd have the ProStar MIG gloves. These will get you by through 99% of anything you want to do in here. It's nice to have the TIG gloves for when you're TIGging, but I do a lot of TIG work with these also. Good tactile feel. I can pick a rod up off the concrete floor with them. All depends on which way you want to go. These are hotter, during the summer because there's no mesh in the back. I'll grind with these. I'll work on the bench grinder. I'll work with a handheld grinder. I on occasion will do plasma, a quick little cut somewhere if I'm wearing these, rather than break out the big heavy gloves, because I know it's only going to be quick. I'll be done. Yeah, I know, we've all said that before. I won't get hurt, but these will protect your hands a little better than the Tillmans will against the rougher stuff. So, I've found different gloves. They have different purposes. I've even got some of the latex, surgical gloves I use on occasion if I'm working with, like a patina or working with acids or something like that. Help protect your hand, but I'm out of those. Sorry.
Are there any other times than working with the forge that you use 2 different gloves? I do wear 2 different gloves at times. At other times, I'll wear a pair of the ProStars and a pair of the Leather for Weather gloves if I'm like on the bench working with the oxygen-acetylene and I'm bending something, working with my little bugs or something like that. I'll use these for the tactile, be able to pick things up. I'll use these when I want to reach in where it's hot. So I'll hold the oxygen-acetylene with this, hold the torch while I'm working over here. I'm reaching in with the pliers to bend something. Put these guys on so you don't toast your fingers. Yep. Miss Piggy, I hope that answers your question. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.